Does the idea of retirement give you anxiety? Have you figured out your retirement number? Or do you have just some vague hope that it'll all work out once you stop working? Today, we're going to figure out what a retirement number looks like and how that can be part of a financial plan. Last week, we talked about what having a budget looks like and how to use a budget to determine what potential savings could be, what a goals tracker is, and how to determine what your savings could grow into if those were invested. So let's go. How do you figure what is enough to retire on? People who don't have a solid retirement plan often have retirement anxieties. Will I run out of money? I don't know what my retirement number is. Maybe Social Security will be enough? Or they make poor choices like, I have time and retirement is a tomorrow problem. I'll do it next year. I want to enjoy my money now because you can't take it with you. Or they end up making unrealistic wishes. But hope without a plan is just wishful thinking. And wishful thinking doesn't pay the bills when you retire. This is about understanding your financial trajectory. How much do you need exactly in order to retire? And when are you going to reach that goal? This is why we need a financial plan. A written plan gives you clarity, confidence, and actionable milestones. A plan tells you how much money you will have each month to spend in order to live, and what is the target number you have to save so you can withdraw the money you need without running out of money, and then how long it'll take you to get there if you start saving today. Remember that budget tracker and the goals tracker from last episode? Here's why it matters. Your current spending habits inform what your retirement needs are going to be. How much are you going to have to spend for food, for rent, for utilities, and for fun? The gap between what you're saving now and what you need reveals the action items you need to work on. With a plan, just like I showed in the first episode, then you can track progress toward your retirement number. This is what's going to keep you motivated and stay on track. And that's why it's so important to have a budget and know what money you have coming in and how much you can realistically save. Better yet, make saving automatic and have it withdrawn automatically before you even see it. So if you then decide you need to save 500,000, $1 million, $2 million, and you've saved that, now what? How much can you actually take out? This is where withdrawal rates come in. A safe withdrawal rate is essentially a number that's been determined to be sustainable percentage of what you've saved for retirement that will last you for a lifetime. There are three schools of thought when it comes to withdrawal strategies. First, there is the 4% rule. The 4% rule thought is to withdraw 4% of your withdrawal in year one and then adjust for inflation each year. This has been a long-standing standard and was based on historical stock and bond returns from 1926 to 1995. It has been shown to have a 95% plus success rate for over 30-year retirements, meaning if you stuck to the 4% rule, that is, if you invested in a mix of 60% stocks and 40% bonds, your money should last you for about 30 years without running out. However, there are risks to the 4% rule. For example, it doesn't account for a sequence of risk returns and down markets. It also assumes a 30-year retirement, which is not the reality of diverse timelines for people who retire. For example, if you retire early and need your retirement funds to last more than 40 years, 4% may still be too aggressive. Some other folks consider it too strict, and you end up not spending enough to enjoy life. Next, we have the 4.7% approach. Newer research suggests that slightly higher rates may be sustainable, depending on market conditions and how your portfolio is allocated. William Bengen, the original 4% rule creator, updated his research and noted that there is a greater retirement portfolio diversification than when he did his original research, noting that portfolios now include many different asset classes, including small cap and international stocks. His latest book shows 4.7% can work as a worst case scenario. Ben then calls 4.7% a universal safe max based on investors he tracked of about 349 retirees. More recently, the Guardrails strategy came about. Essentially, it's a flexible approach to withdrawal based on your portfolio performance. That is, increase your withdrawals when markets are good and then decrease when they're down. This approach, though requires more active management, can extend the life of your portfolio. An example of how this could work is setting guardrails for 20% above and below your portfolio target rate. This approach, though, requires more active management. It can extend the life of your portfolio. An example of how this could work is setting guardrails for 20% above or below your portfolio target rate. So let's say you want to target a 5% rate of return on your retirement investments. This means that the threshold or range you're looking at is 4 to 6%. This potentially also means increasing your spending 10% more when your portfolio does well, or decreasing it 10% when it struggles. So let's say you withdraw 4% whenever you hit your 5% target, but you withdraw on years where you fall below your target, you only withdraw 3%, or you withdraw 5% when you exceed your target. Okay, so let's do a quick example. So let's say you figured out that your expenses is about $5,000 a month. If you multiply this by 12 months, that means you will need about $60,000 a year to retire. Based on the 4% rule, you're probably going to need $1.5 million. That is, if you withdraw 4% each year, you're taking 1/25th of your portfolio. And why is that? So the math works this way. So 100% divided by 4% is 25. So then the way we calculate how much you need becomes your $5,000 per month expense multiplied by the 12 months, multiplied by 25, and that's how we come up with $1.5 million. Next, you have to factor in Social Security, so that's any pension and other income sources. This represents amounts that you don't have to save. For example, let's say you expected to get $2,000 a month from Social Security. Maybe you'll also be getting a $200 pension every month. So now, if you do that math, 5,000 minus the 2,200 that you're getting from Social Security and pension means that you'll only need 2,800 a month for your monthly expense. With this new number, now you have a new retirement target. Instead of $1.5 million, now you only need to save up for 840,000. So this is why your other income sources at retirement also matters. And this can also help you determine if, for example, you picked up a part-time job or did a side hustle or whatever it is to get you another income source that can really help extend how much your retirement savings look like. Okay, now that I showed you how to figure out your retirement number, what are the next steps? My challenge to you is to figure out what that retirement number looks like, write it down, and then let's put it into our budget sheet. Next week, we'll go look at a financial plan one that my husband and I have been working on using a software called Bolden. We'll be using some of the concepts that we learned over the last couple of episodes about setting up a budget, setting up some financial goal tracking, and figuring out your retirement number and how that plays into a bigger financial plan. If you're looking for more information on how to set up a budget, you can watch that episode where I walk through how to figure out a budget and where you can download some potential resources. And if you're interested in our fire journey and how we got started and where we are in our fire journey, I'll have you watch this other episode. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.